What's going on, everybody? I have returned. I am your host for today, Lamek, and I am here to blow your mind with more crazy cases. I got an up-to-date case for you today. This just recently happened, and it's going to lead into a lot of the information that is being gathered by David Paulides. You know, like the similarities and the criterias that match up, all that stuff. You know. But first, I just want to wish everybody out there a very happy 4th today. You know, it's going to be a great day for fireworks. It's sunny. Hopefully, it stays that way because it seems to happen every single time here in Georgia. You want to have a fireworks display, next thing you know, it's raining in the forecast. Then they got to postpone it for another date. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. This happened every single year. And it's been 20 some odd years since I actually went to a fireworks display because I used to go to them all the time when I lived in New Jersey. I lived in like Cranford, New Jersey for like 7 years. So we saw it every year at a place called Echo Park. You know, and I think after all the times we went, it kind of got boring because it was just the same thing every time. They just shoot off a bunch of fireworks in different places, but you're like right there so you can see it up close. You know, but it was no fancy shooting where you see all these spirals and just like they didn't create like a show. It was just like fireworks being shot off for about maybe a good 30 minutes, you know. But after a while, it kind of got boring. So the next year we didn't go. Then the next year turned into a lot of years. And then we moved to Virginia. Same thing. Hadn't seen one. Moved down here. Same thing. Hadn't seen one until my mom moved over to an area that was near a stadium, a baseball stadium, that shot off fireworks every night after a game. So that was a plus, you know. We saw some fireworks then, you know, but it wasn't an actual show, and I want to see a show today. If I can get up with my cousin, you know, and we can go out to this place where they're going to be having fireworks and they're going to be having, you know, events for the kids and stuff like that. So it should be a good day for me, and it should be a good day for all of you. And I hope you guys have a great time today with your families and the cookouts and the food, you know, the laughing and joking around, the kids playing, the beer drinking, whatever it is that you guys like to do. Now, in other places like, say, Australia, they already had their moment. It's called Australia Day. And information was given to me by KimStar66, my #1 fan and my #1 subscriber. But anyway, she said that they already had their day, and that day's been and gone, so they celebrate theirs a little early. And I'm pretty sure they have fireworks as well. But, you know, they call that Australia Day, which is pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure in other parts of the country, there are many cultures where they celebrate the same thing we celebrate, but just in different forms, you know. So, and that's pretty cool. I like that. So, big ups to everyone else. Hope you guys are having a great or are going to have a great day today. You know, so happy 4th, and this one be a good one. But anyway, on to bigger and better things. Today's show is going to be about a young man that disappeared. Well, he's not a young man. He was like 49 years old, actually. But he disappeared somewhere in Indonesia near a volcano. And the title states, German hiker missing on dormant Indonesian volcano. Now, who do you know wants to climb a dormant volcano regardless of how long it's been since it erupted, which that was around 1881, you know, and it hasn't erupted since. But the volcanic activity is still active. You know, so I still wouldn't risk my time or my life climbing a dormant volcano that still has lava flowing in it and, you know, sulfur like smoke shooting out from vents and stuff like that. I couldn't do that. But anyway, rescuers in Indonesia are searching for a German hiker. See, I'm gonna get to that part in a second. Who has been missing for 5 days since he began climbing a dormant volcano. And I'm like, okay, hold up. First of all, that name German, you know, that is a common characteristic in all of these cases with people who disappear. They always either have a German background, a German name, or they are descendants from German or some type of, or whoever was German. Like they probably, you know, have German in their family, you know. So that's just like crazy. The fact that this case popped up about a German man who was climbing a volcano, and the main fact was that he was German. You know, David Paulides mentions that all the time. That there's always someone that disappears who has German in their name or they have a German background. It's crazy. But anyway, a man named Wolter Klaus, 49, from Oldenburg City, registered his name last Wednesday when he started climbing Mount Sibiak in North Sumatra, Berestagi district. Now, on what should have been a day hike, this is what Budia Wan, who was in charge of the search, said. So, like I said, he's heading the search. Now, Budia Wan, who uses a single name, said Klaus was reported missing by his hotel a day later when he did not return from the 2,200 meters, 72-foot mountain. Wow, that's a big one. Well, it's big enough for me anyway. Okay, now he said 150 soldiers, police, and volunteers divided into 6 teams were mobilized to look for Klaus. But the search has been hampered by the rugged forested terrain and bad weather. Now, see, that's another thing with a lot of these cases. You got your German, then you got your bad weather that always seems to pop up every time somebody goes missing. It's not like it was raining all week and all of a sudden it stops when that person goes missing, then it rains up. No, it's like it's sunny all week. Right the day when someone goes missing, it's a torrential downpour or the weather was just bad or it could have been snowing. But see, this happened a couple of days ago, so this is like what? Summertime, but the weather was still bad. It was probably a lot of rain in that area. Very weird, yet very, very, very close together in similarities with the other cases dealing with David Paulides. Now, police helicopter supported the search efforts on Monday. He also said that everybody heard a very weak sound like that came from a ravine when they called out his name. Budawan also said that they've been rappelling with ropes to the estimated location of the sound, but they hadn't turned up anything. They never found anything at that point. Now, in 2013, rescuers found a Japanese hiker alive in a ravine 4 days after he fell from a cliff on Mount Sibiak. Now, Mount Sibiak is one of about 130 volcanoes in Indonesia. Its last major eruption was in 1881, like I mentioned earlier, but its geothermal activity remains high. Okay, so like this is a most recent case. This happened last month, actually. But the story was put out in the newspaper on June 26th of 2017. So yeah, this is a very, very recent case. Now, I recently started talking about people who disappeared on the Appalachian Trail. One of which I did a video yesterday about Jesse Hoover. Now, another story of a person that disappeared on the Appalachian Trail was about Geraldine Largay. Now, Geraldine Largay was a woman who was very outdoorsy. She was around, I think, 66 years old when she disappeared. Now, we're talking about a woman who started out on that hike in the town that she lived in, and she was going to take the hike all the way to Georgia, which is a mountain. There's a mountain that connects with the Appalachian Trail. Now, I'm talking about a woman who started on, I'd say, around July 21st. And when it was all over, after all the hiking that she did, she was found in October. Her remains were found in October of 2015, I believe. So there was a lot of things that happened. She wrote a very weird note shortly before she obviously perished. Where she sent a couple of texts to her husband saying the one text that she sent, she said that she was lost I think she said it was like 3 to 5 miles away from the trail. And then, but it was a very sketchy text. It wasn't like, and it was, the spelling was wrong, like as if maybe she was scared or she was shivering, so her brain function was probably a little off at that point. So the text was a little off too, but you can still understand what she was trying to say. And then she probably sent about 1 or 2 more texts after that, and then the final one was where she said that she's been lost, and can you please call the police and find out what she could do. And then finally she wrote a note to all her family members, and it was very long, apologizing for what she has done, and thanking them for being the kind of family that she was. All kinds of tear-dropping moments in those letters that she wrote before she was found, deceased. But yeah, Geraldine Largay case was a very big one in Maine. It got a lot of search effort done, but at the same time, they couldn't find anything. But and it's been years since that's happened. So everybody's still trying to figure out what happened to Geraldine Largay, but there hasn't been any evidence to back up the claims of what they think might have happened to her. Okay, so now with her and her husband George, they would hike all the time, but a lot of times he would meet up with her at these checkpoints, because it might have been too much for him. And they even had trail names. I forgot what he called himself, but she ended up calling herself Inchworm. She was pretty famous for. And I think it was because she was a huge book reader, I believe. Yeah, that is a pretty crazy case. There's wasn't too much to really tell about this, because it was to me, it sounds like a classic case of a person going off the trail and getting lost. But for you to even travel in a straight line and still get lost, because me personally, if I go off the trail just to go, release myself, and take urinate or have to take a crap or whatever, I would travel in a straight line, not go down a little hill area off the trail and cut through a bunch of stuff going left and right. I would just try to, as much as I can, to keep straight out, and that way I can find my way back to the trail. That's what I would think. But when you get out there and you've been out there for days, you become disoriented. Your thinking pattern isn't the way it should have been when you first went in. So for her to get lost the way she did, and I know there was a lot of thick terrain out there. There's trees, there's branches, there's leaves all over the place, and it covers up a large span of the area that you were walking into. So it'd be kind of hard to even find the little spot that you were actually walking in. It'll kind of distort you to make you think that you got to go this way, you got to go that way. I don't know. I've never been in that situation before. I mean, the only time I've actually been out in the wilderness was when I was a Boy Scout in New Jersey. And we went up into the Jersey mountains. And it was scary. Even though I was out there with a bunch of other campers and a bunch of other Boy Scouts, it was still very scary. I mean, I actually went out into a lake, and it was an opening for a boat where you can go out into the rapids, and I could look past the area and see, how the water was just rushing to the right, and I knew I didn't want to end up out there. But the whole point is that the wilderness can be very treacherous, and I've seen it firsthand myself. This is in the dead of the winter, and we're talking about New Jersey, so the days are cold, very cold. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like how it is in Georgia, where sometimes in the wintertime it's like 80 degrees. Or 70. Like sometimes they don't even go beyond 60 unless there's going to be an ice storm coming. But anyway, yeah. So the wilderness can be very treacherous, and if you don't know what you're doing, if you're not with someone that knows what they're doing, then you probably will get lost. Now, Geraldine Largay is an expert. She's been doing it for a long time. She's hiked all her life. So for her to actually get lost was kind of unsettling for the family members, especially her husband George, because of the fact that she's been doing it for years. But it happens. It's just like I said before, people who have been actually hiking and camping and jogging the trails or climbing the Matterhorn or whatever you want to call it, these people have been doing it all their lives. They're experts. Yet that one time out of all those years where you've been doing it for your half of your life, that's when something goes wrong. You disappear. you vanish, and no one can find you. Years later, what happens? They find your remains in a box canyon somewhere, or in a ravine, in a ravine, or you're in an area that it was very inaccessible to anyone else, including law enforcement. It's just so many crazy things as to, they start saying, well, they fell off a cliff. But how could they fall off a cliff if their body was way out that way, maybe 100 yards out? It's almost like someone threw them over the edge instead of them falling. Now, if, let's just say that ravine or that cliff was like this. You got the flat surface here, and you got this part right here. Now, if you tripped, you would have rolled out that way, or tumbled out that way. But if you go straight down, there's no way for you to end up way out that, way off in that direction at such a distance. So a lot of that stuff happens too, because it like I said, it looks like the person was thrown that far instead of them falling and then end up there. It's not logical. And like I said before, with a lot of these cases, none of it is logical. Now, as far as Geraldine Largay, her situation is the fact that she somehow got disoriented when she got lost. She couldn't find her way back to the trail. So whatever happened to her, whatever causes a person to actually get disoriented when it comes to you hiking, and especially if you hiked all your life, it's just it just doesn't make any sense. So what? It's crazy. Now, this woman, she left behind a daughter named Carrie, a husband named George, and a son-in-law named Ryan. And these people have been trying to find out what happened to their mother and wife. So it's just one big upset for the family, because just the fact that they hoped and wished that there would have been a glimmer of hope that she would still be alive. But when they found her remains in her sleeping bag, and that's when everything came to light. So my condolences to the family. And even though this happened way back when, still it's fresh in people's minds that knew her. And like I said, this happened way back in like 2014. Well, not way back. This was like a couple of years ago. But still, it's a pretty fresh case. It's still young. It's only been a couple of years. So, but yeah, that Geraldine Largay story is pretty crazy, for the fact that she hiked all that time, and then all of a sudden, bam, and then in October 2015, that's when her remains were found. So that's only 2 years, or a year at least, depending on when they actually found her. So it would be like maybe, it's about like 2 years. So whatever happened to her between 2014 and 2015, it's just, you just never know. I mean, it sounds like she was trying her best to survive out there for the amount of days that she was out there. Because they say like a person can survive 2 months without food, and after that, that's it. That's malnourishment, and then your body starts to shut down. Next thing you know, you die from being either malnourished or just not eating. Because you start off by losing weight when you burn the fat, from trying to get through certain areas. But anyway, that's just an educated guess. But yeah, that's my time on these stories. The first one was kind of short because it's a fresh case, so it just happened like last month. So there's not too much detail on it. They haven't found anything yet. It may never be found, but he may have fallen in a loose patch of dirt that was still connected to one of the lava tunnels underneath the ground of Indonesia. He may have fallen in that and was swept away by the lava, killing him. I don't know. That's just my educated guess. But for the fact that he was climbing this volcano, and the fact that he just disappeared without a trace, I would think there would be something left behind, but there isn't. So he goes in and poof, he's gone. So, and the fact that he's German makes it even more strange, because anybody that has a German background always seems to disappear without a trace and is never found. So, and I think that might have been what happened to him. It's just that when you disappear climbing a volcano, that leaves a lot of other information out there for you to use in order to solve what happened to him. Okay, he's climbing a volcano. It's been dormant since 1881, but it's still active as far as the lava. So that would mean if there's a lava tube underneath his feet, or if the ground is very unstable, like crumbly from all the heat, it could have easily collapsed and he could have fell into a lava tube that was still flowing with lava. I don't know. That's just, like I said, that was just an educated guess. But if I had to really think about it, I would say there's something else going on here, because a lot of strange places that have, these areas like volcanoes and, just strange areas that don't make any sense. Like in certain parts of Asia, you have suicide, I think they call it suicide park or something like that, where people actually go there to commit suicide. It's a wooded area, like a forest, or suicide forest, I believe. But yeah, but that's my time. I gotta get ready for my day to see what's gonna be going on and see what I can do to get up with my cousin to see if they're gonna be going out to that place where they're gonna be having a fireworks display, and I'm gonna see if she can come pick me up. That way, you save money on gas and all that stuff. You ain't gotta worry about it, because if they coming in to this area, they can pick me up. But anyway, hope you guys are gonna have a fun day today. I just once again want to wish everybody a happy 4th, and I hope you have a great day. I hope the fireworks are amazing, the food is amazing, hanging out with your friends and family. Just have a great day. I will see you guys once again in a couple of days, maybe even tomorrow. I'll post a video since I'm off tomorrow too. So keep your eyes peeled and keep those ears open for my notifications, and I will return with more. All right, peace out, guys. Aloha, mahalo, and ahuyo.